Good morning, Dedesto! You only get that if you're a parent and your child made you watch Monsters vs. Aliens a million times. I miss that little dude making me watch those movies. Anyways, positive and productive. Kind of an interesting combination. I'm a super clipboard person. I like things to be in order, like a list. I heard once there's a million personality tests out there, but the one I like is simple. It splits people into four categories. And obviously you're all of them, but one's more. There's microscopes who analyze everything, beach balls who are kind of random and bright and bubbly, puppies, they just live to serve and to get attention in a positive way. They also bring happiness. And then there's clipboards, people who just like lists. And I'd always identified as a beach ball. Like, yeah, that's me. I'm super bright and bouncy. And I had a boss one day. We were at a training or something. She's like, yeah, no, you're a clipboard. And I was like, I am not. But guess what? I am. Because wait till you see what I have to talk about. And what I'm talking about is a strategy. I have read so many books. Brian Tracy, James Clear, David Allen. Gosh, I love that man. Tony Robbins. I mean, you name it. If there's a productivity guru out there, I have read at least a blog post by said human. And I've tried lots of strategies, and some work for me and some don't. So I thought, rather than just holding all this in my brain, although everyone out there, it's time to read now, I would share it. So today's productivity tip is about managing your schedule. Funny thing, I write schedules all the time. Lately, everything I write down gets thrown out the window. But I have a tip for that. So if you're a scheduled person, but you're also feeling this conflict, right? Like you're frustrated because every day you sit down and write what you're going to do, but coronavirus or your child who's now home from school or the puppy or the rain or whatever, maybe your own feelings get in your way, this tip is for you. I use it on my actual calendar, like months, but I'm going down to the day level because that's where I'm at in life right now. So the first thing you do is you write down non-negotiables, right? So I have meetings, they're scheduled. I cannot change their times. And some of them are things that I have to do. Yes, I also like doing them, Rock Recovery Family. But some are things that I have to do because I want to do them. So personal or professional. Side note, although I hate to waste paper, I could do this on a whiteboard, the art piece is really calming to me. So being able to doodle is another like self-help tip. But basically what you do is you write down your non-negotiables, right? And then you have things that you want to do, but they're not time dependent. So I know I need to work out because it's Monday and that's how I like to start my week. I think I'm going to do it as soon as I'm done with this meeting. But it's a Post-it note. So if I don't get it done, do I need to feel bad? No. I'm just going to find some space later on and put it there. The other thing that's great about this strategy is the fact that because they're Post-it notes, if I don't get a chance to read, like this morning, actually perfect example, after the grapevine, I was like, I should probably shower before I put my face on the internet because, probably only God knows when the last time I showered was because I didn't. So I did not read, but it's a Post-it note. I don't need to feel guilty or bad about that. I'm still hitting the things that I need to do at the time I need to do them. But now I have like this big gap of time. If I'm going to work out later in the day, I can squeeze my reading in there. And if I don't get to it, pull it and put it on my list tomorrow. So that's how I'm doing this during coronavirus times. If you're feeling solid, I don't want to say your life's on track, but it's coming to mind. Like your schedule isn't being messed up. It's pretty consistent. This strategy still helps outside of a time of great uncertainty. Every month I have things that I have to do, but they don't have to be on a specific day. Budget, analyzing that. submitting some of my writing into editors. That's a thing that doesn't seem like it has to be done, but if I want to meet my life goals, it's got to be something on my radar. Traditionally, I put it off, and then next thing I know, a whole month's gone. So I put it on a post-it note, and it's on my calendar, and I can move it to any day of the month, right? So this strategy works really good even on that macro scale. You could say, these are things I need to do every month. They're a priority, but they're not urgent. And then you have the ability to move them around. And just that tactile freedom for me takes a load off, because I'm someone who puts extreme expectations and guilt on myself if I don't get something done I said I was going to. So this visual flexibility kind of relieves me of that mentally. So I highly recommend getting your post-it notes, finding the things that you have to do every day and placing them in kind of, let's see, how much time do I have? It also reminds me of that parable of the jar. I'm not really sure who first said it, but it's circulated a lot of different times. But the idea of thinking of like a glass mason jar, right? And the things we have to do in our life. We have the big stones, those things that are non-negotiable. I have to go to work. I have to pay my bills. I have to eat, et cetera, et cetera. Then we have the stones, the things that are kind of important, not kind of, they're important, but they're not urgent and they're slightly negotiable. For me, well, I don't need to go into what they are personally. Everyone's the same. And then you have those little things that are important to you, but they're non-urgent and could happen anywhere. The problem is if you keep putting them off, those little things, you'll never get to them. So if you think of them as different sized pebbles all the way down to a grain of sand based on priority, your life is all of them together, right? If you pour those little things into the jar first, those daily instant gratification, like watching Ozark, I guess that's a thing people do. I'm still not on the Netflix train yet. I'm so weird. Even coronavirus can't make me watch TV. Anyways, sorry, I digress. Watching your show, calling your best friend, doing the dishes. But the problem is when you fill all of that sand in your jar first, there's no room for those bigger stones, right? So those are your core values. Put them in first. Then pour the little stones in, and then pour the sand in, and it's going to fill the cracks, right? So I like to think of the post-it notes as the sand. These are the things I can move around. They're going to fill the cracks within my day so I can be productive. But if I don't get to them, it's fine. They're just going to move on to the next day. So hopefully you found that helpful. And for me, just having some sort of routine is what keeps me positive. If you'd like to discuss more or just hang out, I am going to include a Zoom link in the end of this chat. I put up a meme the other day that was like, introverts, check on your extrovert friends. They have no idea how this works. It's true. I'm having tons of fun doing things I haven't been able to do, but I don't know how to refill my stores without human connection. So this isn't just for you, it's for me too. I think at the end of every writing group that I do in these productivities, I'm just going to put a little hangout that's optional. Not going to do it after my workouts because I'm sweaty and gross. No. I'm rambling. I love and appreciate you guys. If I see you in the Zoom room, cool. If I don't, I'm just going to drink coffee by myself, and that's okay too. But hopefully you found this helpful, and I will be back with a new tip next Monday at 9:45, and you can feel free to share this video. Maybe it'll be helpful for someone you know in your life. With that, have a productive and positive Monday, my friends.